are you?
That's great. I'm good. So you are from which city, Ananya?
Well, I'm from Ranchi,
Okay,
Jharkhand.
Ranchi. Okay, fine. So apart from Ananya के साथ हमारे और दो faculties है. We have with us best design faculties, Miss Khushbu Patel and Mr. Svetang Srivastav. They will give you last minute tips regarding UCEED and what you have to take care of part A and part B. So first of all, I will take a questionnaire with Ananya, and then the tips will be given by the faculties. So let me introduce Shvetang sir first. So Shvetang sir has completed his master's from IIT Roorkee, and he will give you information regarding GAT part. Khushbu ma'am has completed her master of designing in interior, and she has completed her master of designing from Milan. She will guide you regarding part A, the DAT one. Let's start with Ananya. So Ananya, students are very eager to know about your experience in IIT. So share your experience.
In short, it's amazing here. Things are constantly happening. There are events every other day. And yeah, there are very interesting courses. We went through a lot of modules, and now I'm in the middle of my semester project. So it's pretty much like you can do anything you want. And everyone's just, getting their hands dirty and yeah, having a good time. It's fun.
Okay, so it's fun in IIT. Okay, that's great. How would you guide the student in terms of how to approach the UCEED paper?
Right. So first of all, what you want to do is make sure that you have strategized your time properly. Okay, and that is very personal to everyone. So I will not give you a very, I will not give you a structured timetable kind of thing to follow. So yeah, sit down, analyze what your strengths are, how you want to proceed with there are different sections, right? NAT, MCQ, and MSQs, and everyone has different compatibility level with these different sections. So figure out what you are good with, how you want to go along with the paper, and yeah, just sit down with a target amount of time that you want to spend in each section, and try not to exceed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how important is time management while writing the paper?
Okay, so it's very, very important to not zone out while you're writing the paper, because it's a very common thing. People stress out, or people just they see questions that they feel stuck in, and then they end up spending a lot of time and wasting time when they could have like spent time on questions they could have worked on. So be very focused, be very present in the exam, right? And yeah, if you want to go to the toilet, go before the exam, get proper sleep, get proper food, make sure you don't feel hungry while you're writing the exam, and yeah, try to have fun.
So while writing the exam, do not hungry. Okay, eat properly before leaving, from home. So this is the main instruction given from Ananya. How important is to attend all the question as per you?
Okay, it is not at all important to attempt all the questions, because obviously there is this big will in negative marking. So with different sections, there will be different approach. In NAT, there is no negative marks. So I will recommend that you attempt all the questions, right? And in MSQ, you get marks for right options, right? So make sure that you select options that you're sure about, and because you will get marks for them. But if you select a wrong option, you will lose marks for even the right ones. So I will recommend don't take that risk. And in MCQ, obviously, attempt all the questions that you feel you're sure about. So yeah, it's definitely not important to attempt all questions. Just make sure accuracy is a very important aspect.
Okay, so as per you, the MSQ and MCQ, they have negative marking system. So they have to take care in both the portion because of negative marking system, right? Okay. And the next question is, what are the things students should have to avoid in paper, especially in part A?
Again, be very scared of negative marking. That is something a lot of my friends did not, take into consideration and ended up losing more marks than they gained. So be very scared of it, first of all. And yeah, don't spend more like a lot of time on one question. If you feel like, okay, I have intended 3 minutes on this question and you feel like you're going beyond it, so just skip it. How I would attempt all of my sections was, first I would start with NAT. I would do all the questions that I could do uh, under a time limit which I had set for myself, and then I would go to the next section, MSQ, and I would attempt I would no my preference was NAT, MCQ, and then MSQ. So NAT I would attempt all questions, but first I would go with questions which took less time, and then with MCQ again I would do questions I was sure about. I would come back to MSQ and do questions I was sure about. Then I would go back and I would go in circles, and first let's say I will attempt questions which take me under a minute, and then I will attempt questions in the second round. I will attempt questions which will take me under, say, 1 or 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes. So I'll keep going in circles until I'm satisfied or until I've reached the time limit.
Okay. Okay. The next question is, did you got enough time to complete the paper?
Well, I was satisfied at the end. I did not obviously attempt all the questions, but I was satisfied with all the questions that I had attempted. And like I told you, I kept going in circles, and till the last minute, I was reviewing everything that I had attempted and questions that I could have attempted but maybe left. So yeah, there's nothing like completing the whole paper.
Okay, so the UCEED exam is CBT mode, I guess, right? So
Yeah.
are you able to scroll up and down after doing the attempting the questions? You can scroll up and down and you can change the questions answer. Is it possible?
So when the exam starts, when the time starts, each question will appear in front of you, and on top of it there'll be a bar where you can switch in different sections, and they will also show you all of the questions in each section, so you can jump to any question you want, and you can mark questions, you can answer questions, and you can skip questions. So just like any other MCQ test, I'm sure everyone has attempted one MCQ test in their life. So it's very similar to that.
Okay.
Right. And then as soon as the first part of the exam will get over, the second section will appear in front of you. They don't give you any gap between the part A and part B.
Okay. And like students should have to keep in mind for part B drawing section. So what things they have to keep in their mind while writing part B?
So I know a lot of people tell you that read questions properly, but keep this in mind that you have to read the question very, very, very carefully, because you have to swallow each and every word of the question and try to imagine as much as you can, make thumbnails, and I'm sure everyone would have practiced few drawings, right? So try connecting the question which drawings which you've already done, so that it'll be easier to draw on paper, because you have very less time. So making something out of the blue would be harder than making something you've already made, right? So read the questions, try to connect the question with scenarios you've already seen or questions you've already attempted, and make thumbnails. Keep in mind perspectives, your basic forms or whatever you've learned, and yeah,
Okay. So
then attempt the final drawing, and make sure that you don't start with a very dark pencil. Start with a light one, and then you can proceed. And if you have time, you can shade. If you can't, it's okay, I guess. But I got time, so I did shade my drawing.
okay.
Yeah.
So basically they have to read question carefully, right? So while writing section B, read the question carefully, otherwise drawing आपका गलत भी हो सकता है. Okay. So next question is, what all things students have to bring for UCEED examination?
Okay, so obviously the basic things, your ID, your registration form or whatever they ask you to bring. Make sure you have your pencils, right? Make sure you have maybe a pen, a scale, erasers, and the sheet that they give you to draw in is a sheet somewhere between A4 and A5. So you have an idea. You can use scales on the screen if you want to. I did that. So yeah, that's a hack. I also, my screen was like, it was a matte screen, so you can also use pencil on the screen. It'll not be the case every time, but you can if you have a matte screen, if you get lucky.
Okay. And sometimes students are asking like they can use marker on the screen while writing the paper.
Well, if you can use marker and if you can erase it off the screen, and if you don't get caught, you can do it. Don't use permanent markers, please.
Okay. Okay. Next question is you were nervous or stressed when you wrote the examination? How did you manage it? Like if you are stressed or nervous, any motivation for the student while they are nervous or like that?
Well, I'm sure everyone has gone through a journey, and I'm sure everyone has done little or more preparation. So have faith in your preparation. I was like, as far as I'm concerned, I think I was pretty confident because I knew I had prepared, and I knew what I was doing, and I had faith. So just sit down, look back at what you've done, feel confident, feel good about yourself, and yeah, it'll happen.
Okay. Any guru mantra, motivation mantra from your side for the student?
Eat well, sleep well, draw a little before exam, maybe don't stress a lot right now. Like, now is the time that you sit down and chill, because you can't afford to take any stress right now. While talking to yourself or your peers, maybe use positive sentences. Don't go like, I can't do it, or I'm getting nervous, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. Avoid those kind of things maybe, and yeah, just try to stay calm, composed, chill out.
Okay. So yeah, don't be negative. Don't use any negative word while writing the paper, because energy sometimes affect karti hai. So don't do it, right? So next question is, exam is 2 days away. So any last moment tips you want to give to the students?
The same. Eat, sleep,
Okay.
and chill. Watch movies.
Okay. Watch movies or games, I guess.
Yeah, before the exam, I think I avoided talking to a lot of people, because it does contribute to, making you less confident or just giving you more stress. So I would keep to myself. I would draw, because that's something I love doing. So yeah.
Okay. So to sum up with the entire conversation, One last message you would like to convey to all the students?
Remember that the thing that you've decided to pursue, design, it's a very interesting field. It's a very fun ride. It's going to be a very interesting journey. And you might not realize it now, but it'll all come together eventually. And I wish everyone the best. Um, Relax, have fun, enjoy the paper, and
Okay. So yes, all the like questionnaire done from my side. And now if student has any question, they will write down in the chat box. But before that, like taking the question from student, we will take a tips from our expert faculties. So first we will start with the Shwetang sir. Shwetang sir, can you give certain tips before the examination?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Good evening to all of you. I hope I'm properly audible to you all. Okay. Just before the exam, as you know, that exam is just 1.5 days away from your this time. Okay, so you should enjoy your this period. Okay, as said by Ananya, very well said by Ananya. Okay, it is the time to relax. You should not do any as such activity which cause you to exhaust your brain, exhaust your mind. Okay, so that you will not use your brain properly during the exam. Okay, so give rest to your mind. Okay, take proper rest. Okay, enjoy your period with your family, maybe friends. Okay, and do not doubt your own preparation. Okay, whatever you have prepared, you are very well prepared. Okay, just go with that confidence into the exam and perform well. Okay, so that is the one line, what I can say, tip from my side to you all guys. Okay, before the exam. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so sir, any like GAT part, the
Okay.
negative marking system and yeah.
Okay. Talking about the GAT portion, as you all do know, that portion is for the first 2 hours and 30 minutes for you guys. Okay, and you will have to attempt part A first, and then only you can go on to the part B. Okay, so that GAT portion is going to be first for you guys. Okay, and there will be three sections over there: NAT, MCQ, and MSQ. You all know about that thing. Okay, you can jump, as said by Ananya. You can jump. You can go in circle and circle. If you want to go out to the MCQ first, you can go on MCQ. If you want to go on NAT first, you can go on NAT first. Okay, but one thing I would like to say about the GAT portion is please read questions very, very, very carefully, because you see the exam is about constraints. Okay, there will be a lot of constraints, there will be a lot of boundaries that they will create around you, and you will have to get the answer within those boundaries. Okay, so please everyone read the question very carefully. Okay, now talking about the negative mark, okay, it is very important to understand that when you have to leave a question, which question you do not have to attempt and which question you have to attempt. Okay, if within 30 seconds or 1 minute you are getting the logic of that particular question, please definitely move ahead and get for the answer of that question. Okay, but if within 15 seconds or after reading the question you are not getting the right approach of that question, you are not able to understand that one exactly what they want to say, what they want to convey over there. Okay, it is, according to me, my suggestion, just leave that question over there, move for the next one. Okay, you can jump back to that question later and you can go for that one. Okay, so please, it is very important to understand that when you have to leave that question, because there is negative marking. Okay, now talking about the negative marking, so there are three portions. Okay, talking about NET, which is your section first, there will be 18 questions into that one. Each and every question will be of 4 marks. Okay, and there will be no negative marking. Okay, you can attempt all of them. Even if you're not getting the answer, you can give some random answers over there. You do know the limits. Okay, you can give some random answers over there, because there will be no negative marking to that one. Okay, but please give your 100%. Then after that one, if you're not getting answer, then you can go for that thing. Okay, but talking about MSQ and MCQ, so in the MSQ there is partial marking. Okay, there will be 18 questions. Again, every single question will be of 4 marks in the MSQ portion. Okay, and in that MSQ portion, if you are very confident with that particular answer, like this particular answer will be definitely 100% in the answer key, please go for that one. If you are not sure, even if there is a probability that 5% or 10% that this may not be the right answer, just leave that one, because you are going to get marks for every correct answer. Okay, but just one wrong option can cause you negative marking. Okay, so please avoid picking the options just by like fluke. Maybe it may also be an answer, it may also be an answer because I'm 90% sure. Okay, do not go with that. If you're 100% sure with that option, please go on to selecting that option. Otherwise, just avoid that. Okay. So in that marking system, like for example, if there are 4 options and out of those 4 options, all 4 of them are correct. Okay, all 4 of them are correct. So for every single correct answer, we'll get +1. Okay, if you select one of them, like you have ticked A as the right option, you will get +1. If you have ticked AB or maybe BC or maybe AC, you will get 2, accordingly 3 and 4. Okay, so very less probability that there will be negative marking into that. But if there are 3 correct options into that question, like A, B, and C are correct, and D is a wrong one, you will get marks only if you will select one of these 3 options, or 2 of these 3 options, or all 3 of these options. Okay, so you do not have to go for D option. If you will select D, whether if you have ticked A, B, C also, and if you have ticked D also, you will get -1 directly. It will not be like that. There will be +3 for A, B, C, and -1 for D. It will directly be -1. Okay, clear? Now talking about MCQ portion, MCQ portion does have direct negative marking. There's no specific instruction for that one. It's a direct one. If your answer is correct, you will get +3 for that. If your answer is wrong, you will get -0.71 for that. Okay, so you have to attempt that one. It's very clear. There is nothing unique into this MCQ portion, but MSQ portion of UCEED exam is quite unique, very unique. Okay, so you have to go for the options in the MSQ portion very, very, very carefully. Okay, and as said by Ananya, she went for NAT, then MCQ, and then MSQ. And probably I don't know what is the reason behind it, because everyone tries to play safe with the MSQ. Okay, no one wants to like what I should say, go with like random answers in the MSQ one. Okay, so even you guys can go for that thing. You guys can select your sections accordingly. Like for whatever section you are strong with, go for that one first. And for whatever section you feel you are not that much comfortable with, you can go for that section in the last. Okay, so that is regarding the negative marking scheme of this UCEED exam. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So yes, whichever things Shwetank sir has said, please keep in your mind, because like you see, part A has negative marking system. So please be careful whenever you are attempting any of the question. Be careful. And Shwetank sir, any last minute topics they have to refer?
I will just suggest that this time just leave it the thing. Okay, just relax. Okay, but if you want to revise, you can go for some of the topics of maybe art or art forms, paintings, perspective drawing, because that thing, if you will see any painting, so that may help you in the part B section also. Okay, that may help you to what I should say, at the exact time of the exam, you may recollect your thoughts, you may recollect your things you have seen in the past. So if you're going for that thing, paintings and everything, that will be fine. Okay, for the rest of the topics, like maybe logical questions or quantitative questions, I will suggest you just drop it for now, take a rest. Okay, and enjoy your time. You can go with the GK topics in this time. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for giving the tips to the students. Now we will take a tips from Khushbu ma'am. Khushbu ma'am, over to you for part B.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, guys. Good evening. All right. I know you guys have got like a general overview, what kind of things that you have to be careful about for the general aptitude part. Some very important tips, which Ananya has also shared. We will be looking into a basic idea of your drawing related question as well. Okay. I know it's one single question. You'll be like, it's just two complete different ratios. There are so many number of questions on the other side and one single question for a larger mark group over here. But it is equally important, guys. We can't take away the importance of this question. If we want to rank higher in the merit list, we have to count every single mark, whether it is coming from the GAT area or your drawing aptitude part. Drawing is also something which is playing equal role, where you have to consider every single point, every detail that you are adding, because that is how you're going to capture some marks And that collectively will help you raise high in your merit list here. As Ananya said, the way you see questions are making the story, I feel that they are just like literally putting an essay, a paragraph of an essay where you get the context, you try to understand the hero of the story, what the kind of thing they are picturizing in an overall area, and then build your imagination. That is true. You have seen and referred down to so many questions by now, and you've got a general understanding of it, right? You need to try and first get an overview that what kind of an overall context that they are talking about. And they are not just writing these sentences just for the heck of it. They want to give you that overall picturization. What does this character look like? When they say that she is an old professor at a college doing this thing, that will build that image of her. What kind of an overall character would she be? What kind of a surrounding elements she would carry? Every single thing. They're doing the storytelling so that you can build that image and general idea in your head and put that thing on paper. Read the question, each and every single word in a very careful way. Understand who is the viewer. Sometimes, in a hurry, you might just misunderstand that from which particular point of view I have to build this answer here. So, please go through the entire question, understand the right viewer from whose perspective we are making that, and the correct eye level also. When you're building a perspective drawing, the first thing that we have to carefully look at is the right selection of an eye level. Where you are placing your vanishing point, where is the horizon line, and then start to build up your overall perspective. Understand the requirement of the question also. Should I go for 1 point perspective structure or 2 point perspective? What particular perspective drawing will help me put down my answer in a better way? If it is very clearly specified in the question, follow that. If it is not specifically mentioned, then you choose the perspective which help you construct your answer to its best level. Going for 3 point perspective is not the case for every question. Okay, 3 point perspective is a very specific perspective style where the viewer's eye level has to go comparatively higher or lower, and then only we can go for 3 point perspective. The ratio of the object of view one is seeing versus the eye level, if that is larger, then only you have to attempt the 3 point perspective idea. Okay. The mentioned elements, whatever smallest thing that they are adding in the question, that has to be there in your drawing sheet. That is a compulsion. You have to add them, and you add them in a way that it shares a larger area in your drawing sheet. Sometimes students end up making drawings like, oh, I have added that element. Where is it? Oh, there, I like a little small thing. If they've mentioned it, which means they want to see that element in your drawing as a primary part. Don't make that a tertiary thing or it's like somewhere in the background here. Pay attention to those elements at a first thing. Other observations that you think that is required, like adding some more objects, some more kind of interior elements, the overall space, other detailing, that is absolutely welcome. You should add that. They are going to judge you based on both of this, how justification, like what kind of overall justice you are doing to this part. Along with that, how well are you able to add your own understanding observations into this? It's a single question where you should attempt the drawing part. As Ananya also said this, you should start with a lighter pencil because it will help you compose your drawing in a clear way. Even if you had to erase some part, lighter pencil will make that thing easier for you. Visualize the overall composition, how you want to place your elements, which one will require more detail, what should go in the background. Figure out your idea and then start with the sketching. We don't have like lot of time to spend over one thing, so keep up to your speed. Try to add primary details to each and every element of here. And yes, try to spend some time over the rendering part. They put it as an instruction that use pencils work for this, which also includes pencil rendering here. So if that is the kind of instruction given to you, make sure you add a little bit of rendering, highlight the primary elements, give a little tint to the background area, something which helps you enhance the depth quality into the drawing. Okay, don't just add a flat gray color to every space and call that thing a rendering. It will make your 3D visualized sketch appear more two-dimensional. So be sure about how to render it and what not to do. While doing the rendering, also pay attention that you should make sure that this part of your hand is not smudging your paper while you're rendering. Go from top to the bottom area, render the important elements first, and make sure that whenever there is a presence of a window, or if it is specifically said that there is a light and shadow condition happening, show your shadows understanding in a proper way, considering the light source. They're not asking for a very literal projection, but a basic glimpse of shadows have to be there if there is a mention of a light condition here. Okay. Pay attention to human anatomy, the way you are structuring the whole figure, adding details, expression part. It's an overall picture. Every single thing will count over here. Okay. This is a general idea related to your drawing aptitude. I know all of you have worked hard and you have got the right understanding, and you will attempt these questions also very well. But this was just like a little last minute tip so that you don't end up making any mistake in the exam. And as something that I would also share from my personal experience is having a little more relaxing time. I think Sir, Ananya, all of them have shared this. Drawing and designing is something, a field where you need to have more refreshed mind to be able to bring out your creative ideas or to understand the right trick at the right time. If your mind is tired, it's like not willing to put 100% energy, it might go in a little lower performance part. So try and look into this. Whatever activity makes you feel fresh, do that, have a good sleep. That is very important. It will help you get that little freshness and you will be able to attempt the exam very well. Otherwise, general instructions which are mentioned and which are shared by other mentors also, please follow that. And yeah, that's more or less it from my end also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Khushbu ma'am, for giving tips to the students. So now we will take a questionnaire part. So student, if you have any question to Ananya, Khushbu ma'am or Shwetang sir, you just have to write down the name. This question is for Ananya, this question is for Khushbu ma'am, this question is for Shwetang sir. So I'll ask the question to a particular person, so you'll get the proper answer. So yeah. So Ananya, this question is for you. Can you obtain NAT at the end if we are not sure with all the topics and the NAT?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Can we attain NAT at the end if we are not sure with all the topic under NAT? They are not sure about the topic.
Yeah, yeah, you can follow any order you want to. There's no such, hard and fast rule which section to attempt first. So you can skip, and if you want to attempt NAT at the end, you can. There's no problem.
Okay. And Ananya, do you remember your score in both the part?
My total score was 192.66. In part B, I got 37.5. So you can calculate part A.
Okay. What is the most important things to remember for the DAT section, Khushbu ma'am?
That you have to understand the requirement of the question, what kind of basic elements and figures that they are expecting. And you need to choose the right perspective which can help you put down that imagination of yours on paper. Pay attention to the overall figure, the proportions, their compositions, and then step two, you should work on the detailing part as required. That should be more or less it. Yeah.
Okay, so Ananya, this question is for you. How did you complete the drawing part on time?
How did I what?
Complete the drawing part on time.
Well, I read the question. I spent 5 minutes reading the question, understanding what I have to do. And I drew thumbnails. That took 5 minutes, and then I spent rest of the time drawing. In the last 5 minutes, I did some rendering. So yeah, read the question properly, picture what you have to do. Roughly try to draw. You get rough space as well, right? So roughly try to imagine what imagine your understanding of the question, and yeah, then you can finally attempt.
So Ananya, is shading important in part B?
I did shading because sometimes they do mention the time of the day and like they give context, right? As ma'am said, so it becomes important to depict that. Like in one question in I don't know which year, but they did mention that sunlight was coming from the window or something like that. So you had to use rendering, otherwise you can't. So yeah, it will be preferred if you do shade.
Okay. And Krishna, what is the size of the drawing we do have to make for part B? Like, is it A4 or similar than that?
I think as Ananya said, that the paper size you get for the exam is somewhere in between A4 and A5. So you can keep in mind that the overall sketch that you will be making would be on an average around that paper size, where if you can manage A4 size pretty well, you won't face any difficulty at the exam also. It's going to be comparatively little smaller than A4.
Okay. So, okay. Ananya, the question is for you. Do we need to solve all previous year questions? Is it okay if we don't?
Now is a very wrong time to ask that question. Like a very long time. Can you solve all the questions now? No, but even if you haven't and you have a gist of what to do, and you have a good understanding of what each topic requires, and if you haven't solved all the questions, it will do.
Okay. And they will get any login ID or password for the examination?
Yeah, all those kind of things you don't have to worry about. When you go there, they'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. They will give you all the instruction before the examination. And whichever things they have given in your admit card, just carry everything with your admit card. If they have asked you any of the identity proof or anything, just carry that thing. Okay, this question is for you, Shwetank sir. What are some important GK current affairs topic to cover before examination?
On the basis of the last year exams, I will suggest you to go for mostly art movements and paintings and painters. I will suggest you only go for that thing based on the last year exams. Okay. Other than this, if you want to prepare, you can go for maybe awards and books and authors. Okay, I'm just saying this thing on the basis of the last year exams. If you have seen the last year paper, there were, I think, no question from GK. And before that one, last year, again, I think there was no question or say one question from GK. Okay. So I do think you do not have to worry that much about GK portion. It will be much better. You do learn paintings and everything, so that you can utilize that thing or you can use that thing when you have to actually draw. Okay, so you can recollect those paintings you must have seen. So I will suggest you to go for art movements, paintings, and painters, maybe Indian or foreign painters. Yes, that will be enough.
Okay, Shwetank sir, this question is for you. Can we clear the rough paper for Q question?
I will suggest you no. Okay, do not do that thing. But if you want to do that thing, please discuss this thing with the invigilators. Okay, please inform that, sir, can we do this thing? Okay, if they do allow you, please go for that. Otherwise, that may be unfair means for you. Okay, because you may have to submit those, or not. You may have to. You will have to submit those rough papers back. So if they do allow you, please go for that. If they do not allow you, as said by Ananya, if you're lucky you didn't got caught, so it's fine. Otherwise, that may be problem for you. Okay, so please ask invigilator before doing something. You can fold it, you can make drawing or whatever you want to, but do not try to tear up the papers or maybe making holes or something like that. Okay, so do not waste your paper. Before doing any such activity, please ask with the invigilator. Okay.
Okay. And sir, there is one more question for you. If we mark 1 out of 3 answers of MSQ, we won't get negative marking for remaining answer?
No. If you have marked one correct answer over there, you will get +1 from that. If you have marked 2 of them, you will get +2. And if you have marked all 3 of them, you will get +4. Okay. Until unless you do not mark the wrong answer, you will get the positive mark for that. Okay. You will get the plus mark for that. If you mark the wrong answer, you will get the negative mark. Okay.
Okay. For Ananya and Khushbu ma'am, did she use 3-point perspective in her paper? Can we use 1-point perspective for 2022 question?
Well, I think 2-point is the safest. 1-point is too simple. 3-point is too sophisticated. So 2-point is preferred, and that's what I did, and that's what I practice also through all my questions.
Certainly, I agree to what Ananya is saying. You need to basically understand the requirement of a question. If it is really demanding the 3-point perspective idea, if the elements are suggesting that, then only you go for that. 2-point and 1-point perspective, whichever is helping you do justice to your imagination to its best, it's good to go for those perspective part. And yes, 2-point perspective is comparatively little more complex. You have more vanishing points and a wider kind of a view to cover up. So if you have an option between 1-point and 2-point, I'm not saying that 1-point is not a right one. You might end up losing marks because of that. There is nothing of that. They are just two different techniques to draw your imagination on paper. As long as you're justifying the question very well, adding all your required elements in here, it's absolutely fine. You can go for 2-point as well as 1-point perspective. Nothing wrong about it.
Okay. So this question is for Ananya. Ananya, are they provide any extra sheets to solve GAT?
Yes, they do give you a lot of rough A4 copy of papers.
Okay.
A lot of it, they just give us one paper, not a lot of papers. But that is more than enough, I think.
Ananya, are you sure we can use scale?
Sorry, scale in the part B?
Yeah.
I mean, it's never mentioned, nowhere it's mentioned that you can't use scale, but I think you shouldn't use scale. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm really sorry.
I can understand. See, like live scenario of the hostel. I guess you
Yeah,
are in
these are my classmates.
Okay.
I'm in my classroom right now. So sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So, Ananya, any tips if student is slow in sketching?
Okay. Do if you're not the best at sketching, do not try to overcomplicate your imagination. Try drawing things that you already know, things that you know you can draw, right? And
Okay. And Ananya, you have taken which stream like science, arts, commerce?
I had science stream, PCM.
Okay, so are you able to manage the time with your science?
So we had online classes, right? So of course I didn't have to go to school. So I think I gave more of my time preparing for my design entrances, and only as much time as required for to like pass boards. But I managed to get like 80, so I think that was cool.
Okay. So Ananya, did you prefix before examination how much time you have to give this question or this section?
Yeah, so I had been preparing for a long time, right? So I did have a rough idea of what of how much time I was taking in different questions. So I sat down in the exam with uh, a calculated uh, time limit that I would spend, right?
Ananya, in MCQ part, even if I know the answer, I am getting tensed whether to attend it or not. So any trick?
In MCQ,
MCQ, yes.
do not take any risks in MCQ. If you're not even like 80% sure, do not go for it.
Okay, Ananya, can we jump to part A after completing the drawing for revision?
No, once part A is done, it goes off the screen. You can't do anything about it. 2 hour 30 minutes is the time you get for part A, right? So once that is over, immediately the drawing question appears on your screen and you cannot go back to the previous question. And in this amount of time, you can't even like open the seal of your drawing, the drawing sheet they give, and it is sealed, so you can't touch it while your part A is going on. And as soon as that gets over, you get your drawing question. And I did not know this, but there is like no gap between these two parts, right? So go prepared.
Okay, Shweta, sir, this question is for you. Sir, what if we are unable to solve most NAT questions?
Okay, if you're not able to solve, okay, and if you do not actually, I would say you should not leave that questions, okay, because there is no negative marking. So you should go for that one, at least give some answer over there. Okay, maybe that can be a good luck, that may work, okay, but do not get underconfident right now, okay. Stay confident with your preparation. Do not doubt yourself, okay. You will definitely be 100%. I'm making it sure that you will be able to solve those questions. Okay, just stay calm, just stay focused, just stay confident. Okay, it is not the right time to get underconfident that I will not be able to solve the questions of any team. Okay.
Again, this question is for you, Shweta, sir.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it a good idea to solve the MSQ part at the last?
Can you repeat again, ma'am? Sorry.
Is it a good idea to solve the MSQ part at the last?
That depends again on your own strategy. Okay, like what actually you do feel, or what with what portion you are comfortable with. Okay, I will suggest you to go with the MSQ in the last, but strategize yourself properly. Make your strategies properly so that you should be able to do that question. Okay, so it should not be like that. That if you're going for the MSQ in the last, but you do not have that much time left to think about that question. Okay, because you have to verify all the 4 options over there. Okay, like talking about MCQ portion, if you're 100% sure that option A is correct, so that you do not have to verify the B, C, and D. Okay, you do know that you have got the right answer. But in the case of the MSQ, you need time, because even after getting option A as correct, you need time to verify whether B, C, or D is wrong or not. Okay, so you should have enough time so that you can be able to solve the MSQ question. Okay, so it should be completely your own strategy, like how you should go. But if I would have been there, I would have gone for MSQ in the last. Okay.
Okay, Khushbu ma'am, this question is for you. What score should we target for part B in order to clear our first round?
I would say full marks. That's the best score you can get out of it. No, but on an average, you should try and reaching down to at least 75% to 85% of the overall marking. It's a drawing question, so having 100 on 100 is not really the scenario. They will try and figure out some or the other points to take your marks away. But yes, that much of marks you should target. At least your answer should give you that satisfaction that, yeah, I will be able to achieve this much of marking out of it.
Okay, so Khushbu ma'am, can we skip some marginal sheet for part B?
If they have given you any specific instruction about it, that you leave some margin or you have to leave some boundaries or something, then only you do that. Otherwise, it's always a good idea to complete your entire sheet. It's okay to make at least like 1 centimeter of a border, so it frames up your answer in a nice way. But try to use the maximum area of a paper. It will help you do justice to your elements in a better.
Okay, so Ananya, what was the quality of the paper you got for part B?
I think it's ivory sheet. So it was thick.
Okay, it's ivory sheet, I guess. Khushbu ma'am, if the drawing question is in 3-point perspective, is there any message like how to choose the correct horizon line within few minutes?
If I understand the question correctly, in that question itself, there will be some or the other hint given to you that you need to go for a 3-point perspective. Let's say you have to make this entire view from a rat's point of at the eye level, which is on the floor, which makes it a very clear idea that the eye level for a rat versus the kind of overall space you are looking at, that is two stark ideas. So then you have to choose the 3rd-point perspective understanding, and that too, you need to understand where your subject is located. If my eye level is very close to the floor, we have to go for the structure of a worm's eye view. And if there is a question which is suggesting that my eye level is close to the ceiling area or above the particular element that we are sketching here, then use the structure of a bird's eye view construction. But you understand the question, what kind of a frame it is asking for, and choose your horizon line or the vanishing point positions accordingly.
Okay. Okay, this question is for you, Shwetang sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for NIT, should we just enter the final value on the screen or even show calculation?
No, you do not have to show the calculation. There will be no space for that. Okay, you have to only give your final answer. Okay, so whatever answer you do get, just simply give your answer. Okay, make it sure. Sorry, make it sure that if you are getting your answers in the fraction or maybe root, under root, or maybe if there is a inclusion of pi value over there, you to solve those values. Okay, because over there in your virtual keyboard, there will be only 0 to 9 digit. Okay, and then there will be a backspace and decimal point. Okay, So you will not be able to enter the values like pi or maybe root 2, root 3 or 10 by 7 or something. Such values you will not be able to enter. Okay. So please solve that one and then give your answers into that format. Okay. So you do not have to show the calculation. Okay. Whether it was your luck that you have got the answer, whether it was your calculation that you have got the answer, they have nothing to do with that. Okay. They just want to know what exactly your answer is. Okay. So give your answer properly. Keep one thing more in your mind, that if your answers are in fraction or maybe as I said under root or pi, okay, you do not have to worry about exact calculation, okay, because in such questions they do give your answers in range. Okay, they mostly give answers in the case of range until unless that is properly divisible. Okay, like just giving a basic example, like you have to find out the area, okay, and the area formula, area of circle, and the formula is pi r square. If the value of r is 7, so that will be divisible by 22 by 7, denominator 7. Okay, but if the value is not if the radius is not a multiple of 7, so obviously you are going to get the answers in the decimal points. Okay, so you do not have to worry about giving a round off answer or exact answer. Okay, mostly they do give the range over there. So even if you are getting the answer as 14.123, so any answer like 14.1 or 14.2 will be fine. Okay, so please keep this thing in mind. So calculation is not important. Your answer is important. Okay.
Okay, this question is for you, Shrutam sir. Do we have to mention units of value?
No. Okay. In the NAT one, the answer is only numerical digits. Okay. So mostly they do give the in the question, like for example, as I said this thing that you have to find out the area. So most of the time they do give in the question that you have to give area in meter square or square meter or square centimeter. Okay. So you have to keep the values in that unit only, and what you have to calculate, and you have to just give the values you are getting. Units you do not have to enter, and there will be no what I should say provision of entering alphabets over there. You can only enter the digits over there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Khushbu ma'am, any tips on choosing the eye level? Always struggle with that. The student is struggling with the eye level.
Yeah, okay. Well, you need to try and consider the viewer for this thing first. You need to understand that whoever is viewing the entire particular perspective, where he or she is located, or whatever, whoever is the viewer in that case. If you're making an interior space, a general height of a single heighted interior space is on an average around 3 to 3.5 meters. And a human eye level average height we reach down to 1.5 to 1.7 meters. So if you're considering an overall height of a space and do half of that vertically, it will set down to a normal person standing eye level in general. Now take that as a rational idea, and if you are sitting on a chair and making that, you know that my eye level will go a little lower than that. If I'm standing on a chair and viewing this, my eye level will be a little higher than this. So consider that as a basic reference point, and then based on the viewer's position, the overall height that he or she or it is getting, you need to choose your eye level according to that.
Okay, ma'am. This question is for you, Ananya. What should be preferred for drawing question, landscape or portrait layout?
The sheet is in landscape, right? So it's I think they're going to ask only landscape questions. So
Okay. So yes, almost I have done with all the questionnaire which all the students has asked. So like all the best to all of you for the UCEED examination, and all the best. Bye everyone. Take care.